What's up, family? It's your girl, Frida Goddess, and tonight's episode, I want to talk about being attracted to the same sex. Um, a lot of people don't think it's natural. I feel otherwise, but it's totally understandable why folks feel the way that they feel. Because we were brought up and it was there's definitely something wrong with you if you like the same sex. But my issue with it is we can be born with autism, we can be born with a dick and a pussy, we can be born in so many different ways, but it is so impossible to be born gay or born like in the same sex. I mean, I knew I liked women or I liked girls before I got into the kindergarten, before I started school. I got my first kiss from a girl in the kindergarten. And nobody taught me to be gay. Nobody taught me to like girls. Nobody taught me that. So, how did I learn this about myself? I automatically knew that, you know, there was something wrong with it because there was, we're taught that, sometimes, you end up humping your cousins and shit like that. Who knows? And we've been taught that it's wrong, but I've always knew that I liked girls. I've always knew it. I mean, I like men and women, but I always knew that I liked the same sex since before I even went to school. So I just feel like a lot of people, they will look you in your face. You will tell a person, I'm going to say, you will tell your parents, you will tell people who you are. Hey, mom. Hey, pops. I just want to introduce myself. I just want to be honest and I want to tell you, I like the same sex. I like girls. This is who I am, and I'm coming to you and telling you who I am. They will look you in the face and say, no, you not. How you gonna tell me, ma? How you gonna tell me that I'm not who the fuck I say I am? Like, how can you tell a person you can't be born that way? No, you weren't born that way. Don't speak for me. And it's totally understandable why people feel that way because that's how we were brought up. We brought up and it was wrong. You will get judged. You will get severely judged growing up in my generation and saying you like the same sex. That shit was looked down upon like it ain't shit. So a lot of people for years have hid who they really were because their home was not safe for them to be themselves. So a lot of us just grew up pretending because it was safe that way, you know? So like I said, people will look you and you will tell people who you are and they will look you in your face and say, "You not who you say you are." Why? Because of their belief system about how things are supposed to go. To me, that's letting others think for you. I always felt like I thought for myself because I knew what I liked. I knew what I liked, and I knew that it would probably rub people the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I just feel like there should have been a safe space for people in my generation growing up because a lot of times some of us we couldn't we weren't safe at home being ourselves. So it was hard to find people like us. Like I went through a lot, my mom, I felt like treated me a certain way because she treated me a certain way after I came out, but before she used to always tell me, you gonna grow up and be a dyke. She knew this. She knew. She was telling me this as I was growing up, as I was a little girl. You gonna be a dyke. Like she knew her daughter. And soon as I became what she knew that I was gonna be, she tried to stop it. I was even put in therapy because of my gayness. What the fuck they thought? Therapy was gonna stop me from being gay or stopping me from liking the same sex? No way. No fucking way. So, like I said, it's just, I believe it's natural to some. I can't speak for everybody, and I can't speak for all women, and I definitely can't speak for men. But if it's not natural if it didn't come natural to you, then it just didn't come natural to you. But you can't tell a person who they are and that they weren't born a way that they said they was born, because you got to understand, like, the way growing up and being gay in my generation, how bad you would be judged. It would just be easier for us to just, say, yeah, I like boys. A lot of people did, but a lot of us stood in who we were. We didn't give a fuck. It would have been so easy for me to just, or I'm gonna say me, it would be so easy for a lot of us to just like what our parents told us we were supposed to like, or like what society told us we were supposed to like. It would be, our life would have been so much easier. But we were so intentional on being who we are that we didn't give a fuck. I'm gonna go through the struggle, I'm gonna get judged, I'm gonna go through all of this and this because I'm gonna be who I am. We went through a hell of shit because we decided to be ourselves, and we didn't give a fuck about what anybody thought, not even our parents. I went through some shit. I remember I was going through like, I liked to dress like a tomboy in school and things when I was growing up. Even in the kindergarten, I used to dress like a little tom. I like to dress like a tomboy, and I remember going to school, and I'm gonna say seventh grade. I was I knew I liked girls. I had a girlfriend, I think, in the seventh grade. I had a girlfriend. And I remember, I was like, okay, I'm finna start being myself. I've been dressing like a girl this whole time. So I'm like, I was starting to transition into dressing in more baggy clothes and things like that. This was in seventh grade, so I didn't have any boy clothes. So I used to use like the girl clothes that I had, and, dress it like a boy or whatever. And so, there was at one point, my, my mom, she wasn't liking it. She didn't like it at all. She tried to make me dress like a girl all the time, and then it started to get to the point where it was disgusting her. Like, she was disgusted by me because of how I was dressed, and I probably was tacky as fuck. I know I probably was tacky, dressing like a boy in girl clothes. That shit is tacky. We all go through that phase. I seen a lot of girls go through that phase. In Even when I was in high school, I seen young women, they would dress like girls, but they will start to transition, and then they will start dressing like a guy, or how guys dress but in girls clothing, and it does look tacky, but you'll grow out of that, and once you start making your own money, because your mom ain't gonna definitely ain't gonna get you no clothes. But yeah, I was in the seventh grade, and I remember it was really getting to her, so to the point that she intentionally made me dress a certain way. Like, she was, I was going to school in ponytail. She made sure she would silk my hair. One day she silked my hair. No. One day I went to school. We had to go visit a high school. I think, was this the eighth grade? This was seventh grade. We went to a field trip somewhere, and I had wore this. Remember those Dickie suits? I had an all green Dickie suit. I felt good in that bitch. I had an all green Dickie suit, and I wore it in to this field trip, and I had a lot of compliments on it. I came home that day, right? My mom was so irritated with me dressing like that she just went off on me out the blue. I came home, I'm feeling good, I got my Dickie suit on, I had all these compliments and shit like that. And I come home, I'm sitting on the couch or whatever, and all of a sudden my mom just go off. She's irritated. She take a knife and cuts a hole in my Dickie pants, so I couldn't wear it again. So I'm pissed. I start crying, and then that same day, I'm in my room all day. That same day, she tell me to come downstairs. She silked my hair, and she like, you gonna go to school however I dress you and stuff. She picked my clothes out. No, she made me pick them out, and I was trying to pick out shit that I could easily turn into boy clothes. She's like, nope, you ain't wearing that. And we had to wear uniforms at this time, right? She didn't let me wear what I brought down, so I brought something else down. And what I brought, no, she chose for me. I had a darker blue shirt and some black pants. These black pants were high waters as fuck. She made sure she was gonna make sure she silked my hair, and she even arched my eyebrows to make sure I look like a little girl. So the next morning, I'm all night. I'm thinking like I'm not. I want to be myself. I was very rebellious about being myself. So the next morning, I get dressed and everything. I'm like, shit, when I get to school, I'm put my hair in a ponytail. It is what it is. And then I was, kind of sagged a little bit because I had the fucking, you know, high water ass pants. High waters as fuck. Like she really was trying to embarrass me going to school. I love the lady. R.I.P. to her. Um, but I go to school, I immediately put my hair in a ponytail. I, I immediately put my hair in a ponytail. I go into the bathroom, untuck my shirt. She had me tuck my shirt in. She was trying to show my shape and everything like that. And my teacher, one of my teachers at this time, I actually recently, a couple years ago, used to work at the same place as her. We were working together, and she remembers this to this day. So I remember being at school. I'm feeling all good. I think I was in it was seventh hour. And we're doing some kind of test, and I forgot what class this woman taught. My teacher name was Mrs. Wallace. I love her. I love her. But yes, we were in her class. Then all of a sudden, I'm doing my work. My back is turned towards the door. All of a sudden, there's somebody in my hair pulling my ponytail out. And I'm like, what the fuck? I turn around. It's my mom. My mom has this brown shirt that says Hershey's on it. I don't know if any of y'all remember those type of shirts, but she had that shirt on, and all I could think of, I'm like, oh shit, I'm caught up. And all I could think of is my shirt is untucked and all this and that. And so she said, they just let her do what the fuck she wanted to do. She said, come to the bathroom. She took me to the bathroom, slapped me up a little bit, and made me fix myself again. She made me fix myself again, right? So, whew, and I went back into the classroom, and I got my hair down. She even brought a comb to make sure, because she knew what I was on. She even had my dad with her, and I'm looking at my dad this day like, Dad, save me. Save me. This is wrong. I knew my teacher knew this shit was wrong. I knew everybody knew this shit was wrong. Like, she embarrassed me in front of my class. She embarrassed me in front of my class, talking shit and everything. And I'm thinking it's over. I'm thinking in my head like, I hate this lady. Soon as she leave, I'm untucking my fucking shirt, and I'm putting my hair back in a ponytail. Yo, why the fuck this woman stay for the rest of the school day? Last hour, that was seventh hour. Eighth hour was gym. We went to gym. So I'm feeling embarrassed because my whole class just saw my mom embarrass me, right? Go into gym. I usually like to play basketball. I'm always active, I'm cool. But I go in and just sit on the bleachers. I'm just sitting on the bleachers, and there's a few people on the bleachers as well. People just stunned. They can't believe what the fuck they just saw. They just saw me get embarrassed as fuck by my mom. So I'm sitting on the bleacher. I'm looking sad, and then I'm hearing people behind me. They talking about, man, she bogus for that. That's crazy. People just talking. I was the talk of the year. That I feel like I was the talk of the year that year. And so my mom walked her motherfucking ass in the gym. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck she doing here? She's still here? So she walk into the gym, come straight to me and say What you sitting down for? Get up and shoot some basketball. Don't you like basketball? And I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to play. No, I said get up. She like, I said get up. And so I get up and she make me get a basketball. So it's people on the court and they see what's going on. So everybody just move out the way. They don't want to get in my mom's way. They know it's some serious shit going on, right? They don't want to get in their way. So everybody move. My whole class, the gym, they all just let this shit happen. I ain't talking about my classmates, but all the adults in there just let this shit happen. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And this is the reason this day, when my mom embarrassed me, this is the reason why it is so hard to embarrass me. This is why it's so hard to get under my skin, because my mom equipped me. She prepared me for embarrassment. I'm telling you, that type of shame will create a person who you just cannot get through to them. You cannot hurt their feelings, because, honey, my mom took me through it. So I picked up a ball. She gave me a basketball, and then I just, I shot it up real lazy, because I'm like, why are you doing this, mom? And my dad just at the fucking door, standing there like a fucking dodo bird. Save me, dad. You see this shit happening. I'm thinking he's gonna at least stop her. I see he feel bad for me though. I see, but you really couldn't stop my mom. You couldn't stop her from doing shit. So I throw it up lazily, right? I fucking She say, "Oh, you want to be lazy? Okay, give me a suicide." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" So my whole class, we are in gym class. My class is on the bleachers, and they got the show of their life. I mean, I can only imagine. This was like, I knew they felt bad for me, but this was very entertaining. I know it was entertaining. I would have, I probably would have been entertained if I wasn't me and I was sitting there watching. I would have been happy to go home and tell my parents, "Mom, guess what happened to this girl at school today?" But she made me run suicides. I ran suicides and stuff like that, and I was just embarrassed in front of my whole entire class. And mind you, I was making decent grades. And so after that, I'm like, I'm crying because I'm hurt. I was heartbroken because I couldn't believe that my mom would do something like that. And even me thinking about it right now, it hurts because of who I am, because who I told you I am. You treat me like this, you know? So that really hurt me so bad. Like, I will never forget that. But I appreciate her for that, because it built a woman that, you can't get to me with your words. You can't. I can go anywhere and look any kind of way. This is a lot of where my confidence come from, because I mean, can't nobody tell me shit about me. I've been embarrassed. You cannot say anything to me that will make me feel shame. I was shamed enough by my mom. So I was, at the end of the day, I'm crying, and my dad, he wants to hug me so bad. He wants to hug me so bad, but my mom was scary. My mom didn't play. Like, she was scary. And so um yeah, I was crying, but I got home, like, my mom just knew she did the right thing. She knew she did the right thing. My dad, he ended up giving me a nice big old hug, and I felt, I know he was sorry that he let that happen to me. I know he was sorry that he let that happen to me. But that is one of the reasons why I'm always like, a lot of times, me growing up, anything I went through, like, emotional wise, I had to handle it on my own. That's why I close off. Like, if I'm going through something, I will shut everybody out. I will shut everybody out, because don't nobody want to listen to me. Don't nobody want to listen to me. Everybody know who I am better than me and shit like that. So nobody wants to. That's why I'm big on trying to understand people, because I want to be understood. I want to be understood. and the shit, it was just crazy. It was crazy. And then there was a point in time where I, was going through it so much that I'm like, I felt like I wanted some attention. I even cut myself around this time. And, it, if I could just give young me a hug right now, that day where I went through that, where she embarrassed me in front of if I could give that me a hug right now, I would love to. You know what? Let me give myself a hug. Nia, everything gonna be okay. Everything gonna be okay. And you know, I'm free now. Free is the name. Free. You are beautiful. You are accepted. You are enough. You are fucking enough. So, that is why a lot of people, it was hard for a lot of people in their household to be themselves. It was so crazy. Even when I went to high school, I remember hearing my mom tell my brother, keep an eye on her, make sure she's not around no gay girls. I couldn't even try for the basketball team because she was afraid I was going to be gay. I was already gay. You knew I was gay in middle school. I'm in high school now. There ain't nothing changed. Your embarrassment didn't change me. I'm still gay. You knew I was going to be gay when I was a little girl. You said it. So, she was on my ass. She was on my ass. And I remember even the first person I told that I opened up about being gay to was my stepmom at the time. My dad, he was married to this woman, and I told her because she made me feel very comfortable, and she talked me into telling my dad. She made me feel more comfortable to tell my dad. And she like, come on, let's just tell your dad. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be all right. And she made me feel so comfortable. I love this lady. I loved her. I still do. I haven't seen her in years, but I loved her for that. And so I felt very comfortable with her. And so um when I told her, she talked me into telling my dad. My dad, he's laying in the bed. She take me in there, close the door, and she like, your daughter got to tell you something. And I'm like, I'm still scared at this point because my dad didn't play that shit either. I'm still scared at this point, but she made me feel so comfortable. She made me feel like everything was okay. And so I ended up telling my dad, I'm like, I like girls. My dad turned over at me, looked at me, and said, and while rolling his eyes, he said, you won't make it in the gates of heaven. And so my stepmom kind of treated him after that. That was rude. You shouldn't have talked to your daughter like that. And I felt protected by her, and it was a point in time where I lost her trust too, because I was at school. I'm not sure, was I in the seventh or eighth grade? I think I was in the eighth grade at this time. Seventh grade is where I got embarrassed by my mom. Eighth grade is where I met this teacher, Miss Kirby, I think. I'm not sure. Kirsten Kirby. Yeah, she was a lesbian, and I had opened up to her. I just had told her one day, I'm gay. I like girls, and she gave me this pamphlet. I forgot what the pamphlet said, but it was about the LGBTQ whatever. I don't think it had the Q and shit at the end at this time. But she gave me this pamphlet, and I was excited. I'm like, oh, it's more people like me. I was starting to feel accepted now. And so I showed that to my stepmom. I told her about it because I was excited, and I just wanted to see what it was about. And my stepmom, I gave it to her, and she never gave it back. And all of a sudden, it ended up in my mom's hands. And so I'm like, oh my God. So I get my ass, she get on my ass for that. She go to the school, treat the teacher that gave it to me, and blame the teacher for exposing me to being myself. So it was just so hard. I couldn't get away from it. So, and it was just hard. So me and my mom, we never, she bumped heads with me a lot because a lot of times, me growing up, I used to always try to be positive. When my mom was yelling all the time and when she was mad and angry and stuff like that, I would always say, just look on the positive side. I will always say that. That was my go to because I always felt like just be positive and everything is going to be okay. And one day I said it, and she was so irritated. She said, "Get your positive ass away from me. I'm sick of this positive shit." And I'm like, damn. So positivity can be negative to negative people. And mind you, I'm not bashing my mom. This is just the experience that I had with my mom. I love the lady. I miss her. I wish I can see her again because that lady, she means a lot to me. But she just, I grew up feeling like she didn't like me. I always felt disliked by my mom. I didn't feel liked by her at all. At all. I remember maybe about 3-4 months before she died, I went to her. And this is how I know parents be knowing, like they be in their kids' mind. They know they kids. But I'm an adult at this time. This is before she, like about 4 months before she died. I went up to her and I'm like, "Mom, can I ask you a question?" And she said, "I don't hate you. And I'm telling you." All I said was, "Mom, can I ask you a question?" And what I was about to ask her, before I can even ask, her response was, "I don't hate you." But what I was about to ask her is, "Why do it seem like you hate me?" She knew what I was about to ask her. My mom went through a lot growing up. If y'all knew her story, and I believe I'm going to tell some of the stories that she told us. I will tell some of her stories in later episodes. But I understand why my mom was the way she was based off how she was brought up. My mom went through a lot and she projected a lot of shit onto us. She lost her mom, and she had a lot of regret because she was mad at her mom when her mom died. She was like ignoring her mom. And so she never healed from that because she always talked about it, and then she would even project onto us. And if we didn't get her certain things that she wanted, like because my mom liked to smoke cigarettes and things, she liked to drink, and that sometimes she would, if we didn't get her a drink or a cigarette, she was like, she'll say shit like, "One day I'm gonna die, y'all gonna miss me, you gonna regret it," and shit like this. But I never give a fuck about that because I always thought about it as, if I tell her no, I'm saving her life. So that didn't work on me. I knew she was projecting. But so like my mom definitely had a wild childhood growing up. And I'm gonna let y'all in on that. I've spoken with my mom. She's always in my fucking dreams, and she is okay with me telling her story. I am her voice right now, so I'm going to tell some of the stories that she's told us, and y'all will understand why she was the way she was. My mom, she was evil. She had an evil spirit within her, and I felt like she hated me so much. But the more you hate a person is just as much as you love them. If a person hates you, that's just how much they love. They hate you so much, they love you just that much. It's just the love. Sometimes it's hard, but she had definitely had a hard life. So like I said, based on my experience of growing up liking the same sex, I knew who I was before I even start being around kids in school. I knew who I was. I already knew. So when a kid tells you that they think they're gay, or they're telling you who they are, accept them, embrace them. Don't make them feel bad. That is why a lot of adults are still pretending to be something that they're not, because their home wasn't safe for them. Their home wasn't safe for them. Imagine being a kid and not having a safe space at home, so a stranger will be able to see that. A stranger could easily come and gain your trust, and a stranger can be manipulative. A stranger can have ill intentions behind gaining your trust. And you knowing you don't got that at home, you feel like you trust this person, but deep down they're an older person and they're probably manipulating you. They can see, oh, this person ain't getting this at home, let me be a safe space for them. Where then they can groom this young person, because this person not getting hurt at home. They're not heard at home. Nobody wants to listen to them at home. But when the first person comes and listen to them, they open all the way up. And that can be dangerous because your parents don't want to allow you to be yourself. They don't want to open their mind. They don't want to open up. They don't want to embrace you. They want to tell you who you are. I'm telling you, that is not right. It's not right. These kids, they're not saying these things for no reason. They're not. So, like I said, a lot of y'all may not think it's natural, but I believe it's natural. It's a lot of men out here who's gay, and I think they get it worse than women. They get it worse. They get it worse than women because just imagine being a gay man and you know how it is. You know how gay men are treated, especially when they first come out. It would be so easy to just be attracted to women, but they're not. They just not naturally attracted to women. They're not. You can't make them. You can beat them, you can embarrass them, you can shame them, but at the end of the day, this person's still gay. I like that. At the end of the day, we still gay. But anyway, like you can't like stop judging people. This is another issue, like, because I feel like the black community, and this ain't about race. This ain't about race. A lot of shit going on. I just take race out of it. But our community judge us the most. Like how we judge a human for being gay, or how do you judge your kids or judge people in your family for liking the same sex and treating them a certain way. You know how it feels to be treated unfairly just by being a black person. It'd be the same people who get judged and profiled by police who's treating gay people, you know, unjust, just like you were treated unjust. I just feel like we're all humans. You know how it feels to be treated a certain way. Why the fuck do you feel like you can treat a gay person a certain way because they're gay? Because you think you're better? I'm straight, so I'm better than all the gays. That just don't make no sense. Let people be themselves. It's just not right. It's not right. You should be able to be in this world and be yourself. If it's not hurting nobody physically, why are other people so worried about it? Why are other people so worried about what other people do in the bedroom or what other people like? And then, it is what it is. And some people, they don't like to see it, but let people be them. If it's bothering you that much, you may need to take a look in the mirror because you might like what you see. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, let people be them. And I know I ain't the only one who had these type of experiences. It's natural for me. It may not be natural for everybody. It's probably not natural for you or you or you. You can't fathom thinking of the thought of liking the same sex, but I can. I know what I like. You can't tell me I wasn't born this way. If I wasn't born this way, it would have been a phase and I'd be out of it. But I knew what I liked and I still know what I like and I'm still living in my truth. So, like I said, I'm sorry for those of y'all who had to experience certain things growing up because you like the same sex. I apologize for that. I'm apologizing on behalf of your parents, on behalf of all the judgmental people in your family. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm sorry. I wish we all had somebody like me in our lives. Some older, just some, we, I'm sorry you had to deal with that shit because you wanted to be yourself. You had to suffer. Just like black people during the slavery times. Just because they was themselves, they couldn't help the color of their skin, they were treated a certain fucking way. That's why it really stuff really don't get under our skin. Like if you notice a lot of gay people, they don't give a fuck about what people say about them because we went through hella shame before. We already went through the shit growing up. People judge you. People call you gay, faggot. Oh, you a carpet muncher. You got called so many names, so you're used to it. So if you actually think about it and look around at a lot of gay folk, they don't give a fuck what nobody say about them because they already went through that bullshit. Nothing hurts their feelings. You can say anything. Okay, I know it is what it is. You think what you want. It is what the fuck it is. We went through it already. That's why a lot of us are that we don't give a fuck because we've been shamed growing up because we wanted to be ourselves. So, you know, like I said, just be yourself. And there's times where when you being yourself, you just gonna get you gonna you gonna struggle because some people can't accept it. Some people can't accept you being yourself. And a lot of times deep down is because they can't be themselves. They can't be themselves. It's a lot of us uh people who like the same sex. I'm sure there's a lot of it because I've talked to some people to where a woman says she was a lesbian and she knows deep down that her mom is a lesbian, but her mom can't walk in her truth, so she used to treat her a certain way because she was able to be herself and be a lesbian because that's what she likes, but her mom used to get on her ass and treat her a certain way because her mom couldn't do it, but she knew deep down her mom was a lesbian. Her mom just couldn't live in her truth, and she took it out on her. Sometimes that's envy. You may not believe it's envy, or you may not see that it's envy, but it's envy. You envy your daughter because she can be true. She can be true to herself, and you can't. So you judge and judge and judge, and you was liking pussy too. You wish you can come out in the open, but it's just hard. For some people, it's hard, and I totally understand. That shit ain't easy. That ain't easy. That's that narrow road. Being yourself is like going down that narrow road because people can't accept it. People can't accept it. Like you think just telling the person you weren't born that way. Sometimes that hurts people's feelings. Like, how you gonna tell me about me? People will look you in your fucking face and tell you not who the fuck you just told them you were. That's life though. That's life. That's life. But I'm over it, and I know a lot of y'all are over it. And if you are someone who's still going through it, this too shall pass. I promise. This too shall pass. There's communities you can join. And if need anybody to talk to, I'm here. To the best of my ability. I can't, I ain't no therapist or everything or anything, but I understand and I know how effective it is to talk to someone that wants to understand, that intentionally tries to understand and wants to understand, because I wanted to be understood so bad growing up. That's all I ever wanted, even in today in my relationships. All I ever wanted was to be understood. And so that's why I make it my business to try to understand. So when I talk to people, I listen. I intentionally listen. So I intentionally make sure they feel heard when they're talking to me, because I know how it feels for you to talk to somebody and you can tell they're barely listening. And that's why a lot of us don't talk to people. A lot of us go in our shell. We stay there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So again, be yourself. And again, I apologize if you had to go through something similar to what I had to go through. So, and I also want y'all to see my nails. Y'all like that? Y'all like that? This eye is the eyes in here, the eyes here, all of my eyes. I am crazy about eyes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But anyway, like I said, be yourself. Don't worry about what nobody think. Can't nobody whip your ass. Who gonna whip your ass? Let people judge. Most of us don't give a fuck about being judged, no way. So just do you, and everything gonna go your way. Just walk in your fucking truth. Don't worry about people. Don't worry about what, people think. And to the young boys who feel like you gay, it's gonna be a little harder for you. It's gonna be a little harder for you because you're a boy. You're a boy. You can't cry, or you a little girl. It's wrong to be like a girl, but crying aren't just for girls. That means little baby boy infants who cry, they're little girls. That never made sense to me when dudes say stop acting like a little girl. How is he acting like a little girl because he crying? Let these kids express their feelings, and let them go through their emotions. Stop trying to force them to be what you think they need to be. It's not right. That's why so many adults out here ain't themselves. They're not. A lot of people are not themselves because they were groomed into thinking they're supposed to be what society or what their parents want them to be. And like I said, young boys, you gonna go through it the worst. Luckily, today is more acceptable. So, and that's why I have no issue with I know there's agendas with certain things out here and things like that, but it bothers me none, because I just feel like it's also helping in a way. It's helping in a way because a lot of this LGBT shit, it helped kids become who they really are. It helped them. If they were scared to tell people or scared to be themselves, it actually helped some teens and some kids or whatever. It helps them actually feel comfortable in their own skin. So like I said, be yourself. For the 100th time, be yourself, and don't let nobody make you feel less than. Do you, boo boo. Do you. And as I always say, it's your girl, Frida Goddess. I'm always messing up on my outro. And as I always say, through every struggle, a statement is made. Like that struggle, I made a statement. So that's what statement means. Struggle that attains the embracing mindset, eluding negative thoughts and or thinking. Through every struggle, a statement is made. It's your girl, Frida Goddess. And I'm out. Peace.